We have a little problem here where this board seems to be sticking up a little bit, and it seems like there's something stuck underneath it, so we'll have to remove a few screws, possibly clean it out, put it back in. I'm using a chalk line to make my screw holes nice and straight across all the boards. And all you do is pull it tight, snap it, and it leaves a line like that. When the boards are not square or just off by just a hair, what I do is I make sure we're up against the fence nice and tight, and actually not touching the blade, but we'll put it against the blade and just go back and forth a little bit, make it flat against the blade. Whenever you remove a board, these little spacers like to fall over, and that's bad news if they get underneath a board. So easiest thing to do is just pick them up, then put the board in and just hammer them back in. Okay, that screw is being very stubborn. It's got a hard piece of metal in there that refuses to be drilled out. So we'll go to plan B, which is a rotary tool. And before I go further, please wear your eye protection on this, because this turns at very high RPM. It has a very small cutting disc which can break and send it into your eye at very high RPM also. Let's see what happens. Fail. Alright, I finally ground a slot in it right there so that a slotted screwdriver will fit. And let's see if that will work. Oh yeah. Now we're getting somewhere. So the dog is back, but fortunately he doesn't know the gate is not attached right now. So as you can see, I moved it up here. I spaced it up with 2 pieces of composite and another 1/4 inch just to make sure we have clearance, and then I'll have to move the latch up. Okay, so I've come up to a point where I need to make another notch in the wood, and as you may have noticed in the previous video, I made a mistake the last time I did that and cut out the wrong half. So what I'll do is erase this line, and that way I will not have a line to follow, so I won't cut there. Okay, so I've cut out the notch, laid the board in there, but you'll notice the clearance on the frame or the door is just barely a 1/4 inch, although I left it more than twice enough clearance. So what's going on there? And what's going on there is up here, the top of the gate rail is loose and causing it to sag a good inch or so. You'll notice there are 2 screws there holding this together, this pine wood, but 2 screws are no match for a couple 100 pounds of dog. So what I will do, I'll do it on a different project. I'll maybe put a piece of angle bracket in there, or use screws and nuts on the other side, or maybe a construction adhesive in addition. I'm sure you've heard the expression measure twice, cut once, but I'll give Norm Abrams the credit for saying don't measure at all if you don't have to. We have a situation here where the board is bowed and causing more width of the crack than I would like. As you can see, how that moves around there. So what I did was I took a scrap piece of the composite, a sacrificial piece of the rare and exotic particle board tree, and then I take a crowbar in here to squeeze that together, and I'll shoot some screws in there so it'll stay that way. I just had a thought. What if we use real wood and plastic dogs? And this rail is rotten. It needs to be. Look at the deck. It's not quite done yet, the old on the left and the new on the right. And over here is the gate. The top step is new. The bottom steps are old.